Today, we're diving into what might just be Apple's most important new product. Not the iPhone, not the Ultra, but the Apple Watch SE3. Yeah, it's the budget option, but believe me, it has a few new tricks up its sleeve that could honestly change everything. So that leads us to the big question we're going to tackle today. Has Apple's so-called budget watch gotten so good that it's actually its best watch? For most of us, we're going to break down the features, the power, the compromises, and see if that's true. All right, first up, the single most requested feature has finally come to the CE. And this isn't a small thing. It fundamentally changes how you use this device. It feels like a real watch. And here it is, the always-on display. You know how it was before, right? Wrist down, and the screen was just a black rectangle. Useless. Now, it just dims. It stays on. You can discreetly check the time or your workout stats with just a glance. No more of that dramatic wrist flick just to see if you're late for a meeting. This is a huge quality of life upgrade. So what's the magic behind this? Well, it's this really cool tech called LTPO, which basically lets the screen dim way down without totally draining your battery. And while they were at it, Apple made the front glass 4 times more resistant to cracks. So it's not just smarter, it's a whole lot tougher too. Okay, so you might be wondering, how on earth did they pull this off on the budget watch? Well, the secret isn't actually in the screen itself. It's in the brand new engine that's powering the whole thing. To really get how big a deal this is, think about Apple's top-of-the-line watch. I'm talking about the super rugged, super powerful $800 Apple Watch Ultra 3. It has this custom-designed brain that handles absolutely everything. And get this, that exact same brain is now inside the brand new entry-level Apple Watch SE3. I'm not kidding. This isn't some stripped-down version. It's the full-power flagship chip in a watch that costs a tiny fraction of the price. Just let that sink in for a second. $249, all that performance, all that potential for $249. This completely rewrites the rules for what we should expect from a so-called budget device. This thing, the S10 system and package, is the key to everything. It's what unlocks that awesome always-on display, it's what powers all the new health features, and it even enables some pretty magical new ways to interact with your watch. All of it because of this one little chip. So, okay, a powerful chip is great, but what does that actually mean for you? What do you get from all this new horsepower? Well, let's look at how the SE3 becomes a much more capable guardian for your health and your day-to-day life. The benefits of that new chip are, they're immediate. You now get wrist temperature sensing, which is huge for things like cycle tracking. The watch can also now flag potential signs of sleep apnea, and it gives you a simple sleep score to quickly see how well you rested. And on top of all that, it finally supports fast charging and has a 5G option. A lot of upgrades here. And let's just talk about that fast charging for a second because it's so practical. You ever forget to charge your watch overnight? We've all been there. Now, you can just pop it on the charger while you're getting ready in the morning, and in just 15 minutes, boom, you've got enough power for a full workday. Game changer. Okay, this all sounds pretty incredible for the price, right? Almost too good to be true, which means we absolutely have to talk about the smart compromises Apple made to hit that price point. What are you actually giving up compared to the fancier models? It's the question everyone's thinking when a deal seems this good. So, what's the catch? Well, honestly, there isn't really a catch so much as there are really intentional, carefully chosen trade-offs. This table really lays it all out perfectly. In the Pro column, you get that game-changing always-on display and that flagship S10 performance. But in the Con column, it's still using the older case design, so the borders around the screen are a little bit thicker, and it doesn't have the sensors for taking an ECG or measuring your blood oxygen. Now, for most people, those are features you might not even use every day, and leaving them out is exactly how they keep that price so low. So, let's bring it all together. Time for the final verdict. With everything we've looked at, we can figure out if the new SC is actually the right watch for you. But before we get to the final word, I have to show you this one pro tip. It's a perfect example of the new S10's chip's power. It's a new gesture called double tap. Picture this. Your alarm goes off, but your hands are full. You just tap your index finger and thumb together twice, wherever your arm is, and boom, it snoozes. A phone call comes in, double tap to answer. It's like having a little superpower when your hands are full. So cool. And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. For $249, the new SE3 delivers the absolute essentials of a modern Apple Watch experience. You get the glanceable screen, you get incredible speed, and you get advanced health tracking, all at a price that's just unbeatable. It really does have the best feature per dollar ratio of any watch Apple sells, period. Which leads us to one final kind of provocative thought. For years, the SE has been seen as the good enough watch, right? But now that it has flagship power in that always-on screen, the question has totally changed. Now, you really have to ask yourself, do most of us really need anything more than this? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us.